Okay, we're going into overtime here. We've got we're in the D box. Now remember, the D box could be the real deal D, or it could be a half step up. It's still the same D box. Okay? Either way, that ended up an E natural, but either way, so we're looking at the D box. We can play the arpeggio that goes into the sunken notes. We can take the seventh. Now we want to put the capo back on because the crux of this lesson is half position, so we can't play the middle two strings in that nice G minor shaped arpeggio. So what do? We're going to take the seventh on this string because there's no other triad note on that string except way up here on this three. We're going to take the fifth, the seventh, and the third. We're not going to select the second over the third. So it's just like this. It's just starting from the D, D, G, B, E in the key of C. Okay, but then we also want to somehow get the three. Well, let's see if we just play that two on the bottom. Maybe we could move that two over to the top, get these three with our fingers, and then somehow get this third. Okay, that kind of thing. But that took a lot of doing. Maybe get it with your thumb. That's how we play that position, the G minor. We're talking about how we're going to play this. G should be easy, regular old. G shaped, G major shaped, but look at this. Wait a second. 4, 6 root. Okay. 4, 6 root 4. This is the fourth now. Alright. It's not. Okay, so this would be the 2 there. Yeah, that'll work. So D shape, C. Fourth of C is G. Whoa. Okay. Now let's get that 4, 6, root 4, 6, 4. Now that's fourth of the root. The fourth of the root is our F in key of C. So that is a G-shaped F, believe it or not. You can do all things with it. You can almost do as much as you can do on a C triad, but there's some things the inversions aren't perfect, because let's look at this. 4, 6 root, that's root. 6 root 4, first inversion. Root for 6, second inversion, but we can't get the root again. We have an on string. When we have an on string, we're going to end with one inversion past it. One inversion past root is first inversion, is what we end up with there at the top, if possible. Let's see, first inversion would be 6 root 3, 6 root 3. It's not even a chord. Okay, here's 6 root 3 right there. So, long story short, that's how we play that one. The G, it's just a G. G is easy. G major is an easy chord. Anytime I see a G, I'm playing it. I'm not worrying about. Now A, same thing. Drop that 5 to a 4. There's our 5th. Okay, A shaped G, fourth of C is F. Okay, G to an F. That's a dominant seventh. There it is. Its minor is the G minor, which is the third that we played up here. There's its minor. Okay, the G minor that we played like this. Okay, or we did something like this, and is it fresh in memory? All right. Now it's important to be able to just work on the individual boxes before you worry about stuff like this. Oh, look, there's a little G, and there's another little G, and there's another little G, and guess what? Yeah, they're usually played exactly the same. You know, before we worry about stuff like that, let's just worry about how and then suddenly we'll say, oh, I saw that chord before. I saw that chord before. Here's 6 minor. It's a small C, which means it's a C minor arpeggio. 3, 6, root 3, 6, and then root on string to 3. We're looking at an A minor, starting on the third. It's fairly low, so it's going to be something like 3, 6, root, and then a sunken 3, 6, root 3. Now let's see if our top 3 is that note. You know what that is, right? That's one of those famous video game songs. I forget which one it is, you know, but it's one of those ones that we used to love to play. Anyway, so there's the 6th. 7th, we're not going to spend a lot of time on the 7th because it's so jumbled up. It's hard to make an analogy, but I've got this new way of looking at it. Now it's 7. It's the 2, add the 7th. So we look at the 2 minor. Let's look at the 2 minor first. We'll get it over there. Okay, I've gone ahead and pasted on the 2 minor here so we can look at it easy. This is our 2 minor, the relative 6th of the 4th, the G-shaped 4th, okay, in the D box. Now when we want to do the 7th, so what we've got essentially is this. When we want to do the 7th, we just swap the 7 for the 6th. But since the 6th, okay, which is the 5th of the Dorian, is the 7th of the 7th, the modal 7th of the 7th, okay, our nice, you know, that suspenseful kind of chord. We want to play on that 6th too. So we're looking at pretty much just the same thing. We've got an E minor shape here for that 2nd. Lucky us, because E minor is an easy chord. So what I'm going to say is we're going to play this E minor here, but we're going to add in this 7th here, which isn't drawn on the regular E minor shaped 2nd, because we're doing E minor there, and its 5th, the 2nd's 5th is the root. So remember, 7th is the root. Okay, so here's the 2nd, here's its modal 7th is the root. But the 7th modal 7th is the 6th. Okay, that's why we don't have, they're not exactly the same. So let's look at this. How did we play this? We played like an E minor. We want to hit that 4th, that's important. So we're down here, 4, 6, 2. You can get that 2 on the bottom too, for some kind of arpeggio. Now we got the 4th up there on the G string. Okay,